Hello students, welcome to the class of teacher Meenal Parera. In this video, we will study about some atmospheric phenomena based on refraction. The first of that is twinkling of stars. Now, in the night, we see many stars lighting or twinkling in the sky. Okay. Now, what is the reason behind the twinkling of the star? Let's see. Stars are self-illuminating and can be seen at night in the absence of sunlight. Okay, and they appear to be the point source because they are very far from each other. Now children, this is the place where I am standing. Suppose I am on the earth. This is a place in the sky where the stars are there. Can you see these layers here? Okay, these layers that we can see, these are atmospheric layer. And the density of the atmospheric layer goes on decreasing. Like here the density at this point, the density is highest, and as we go up the density decreases. Okay, so this point source of light, which is very far from us, the light travels from the rare medium to the denser medium. And as you can see, as the light travels from rare to denser medium, it bends towards the normal. Okay, and because of this, the stars appear to be higher in the sky as compared to its actual position. Okay, so actual position, but the star compares, or we feel as if the star is higher. The apparent position of the stars keep on changing. Okay, so because of the density or the atmosphere which is not constant, the temperature, the wind, pressure, that keeps on changing the atmospheric layers, and because of which the refractive index also keeps on changing, and therefore the apparent position of the star continuously keeps on changing, and because of this change the position and brightness of the star keeps on changing continuously. Okay, so because of this change we feel that the apparent position keeps on changing continuously, and therefore we feel as if the star is twinkling. See, these are the apparent positions, yesterday here, today here, or it keeps on changing. So we feel as if the star is twinkling. Now moving to planets. Now we don't see the twinkling of the planet. Okay, we don't see the twinkling of the planets. What is the reason? Okay, the planets are much closer to us as compared to stars, and therefore they do not appear as a point source but as a collection of point source. Okay, so see, this is extended source of light. This is point source, this is extended source. So now when these light is again coming from the planet, you can see the refraction of that. But what is happening is, because of the change in the atmospheric refractive index, the position as well as the brightness of individual point source change, but the average position and the total average brightness remains unchanged, and planets do not twinkle. What is the meaning of this is, even if from one point source the light is reflected or it is dim, it is adjusted by the other source. So in turn what has happened is, together the intensity remains constant. Okay, so because the intensity remains constant, we do not feel or we do not see the planet twinkle. Okay, so stars are far from us, point source, intensity changes, so we feel as if the stars are twinkling. Whereas planet is an extended source, not very far from us, so brightness from one source is adjusted by other source, so we feel the average intensity remains the same, so it does not twinkle. Okay, now why do we get to see the sun before the sun actually rises? Okay, so sunrise, but before the actual sunrise, we can see the sun. What is the reason behind that? Is the Earth's atmosphere has different layers. We have already studied that it has different layers with different density. The optical density decreases as we move away from the Earth's surface. Okay, so this also I told you, as we move away, the density decreases. Now, so just before the sunrise, the sun rays obliquely enters through this layer and get refracted. Okay, now see here. This is the horizon. When the sun is above the horizon, we say that it is sunrise. Now below horizon, what is happening is, as the rays are coming, children, you can see that these rays coming to the atmospheric layer, they are bending towards the normal. They are getting refracted. Okay, so we see a curved path. Okay, so because of this changes, or because of this refraction, what is happening is, these rays are obliquely entering, or they are coming closer to the normal. Okay, so by sunrise we mean the appearance of the sun above the horizon. Now the sun has come above the horizon. This is the apparent position of the sun. But when the sun is somewhat below the horizon, the light rays are able to reach us along the curved path due to their refraction through Earth's atmosphere. Okay, so this is the curved path. Thus, we see the sun even before it emerges above the horizon. Okay, so as I'm standing here, this is my position. This curved path is reaching to my eye. I can see the sun before the sunrise. The same thing happens at the time of sunset. Okay, sunset, as the sun goes down, here it is, still due to refraction, we can see the sun for a short while even after it goes below the horizon. Okay, so basically the reason behind this phenomena is the atmospheric refraction. Now, okay, moving further. Dispersion of light. Now this is a small experiment you can do, children, at home. Hold a plastic scale in your compass in front of your eyes and see through it while turning it slowly. You will see light rays divided into different colors. These colors appear in the order violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. Now, we all know that light is an electromagnetic radiation. Wavelength is an important property of radiation. We have studied in 9th standard about these wavelength and all the such phenomena. The wavelength of radiation to which our eyes are sensitive is between 400 and 700 nanometer. In this interval, radiation of different wavelengths appear to have different colors mentioned above. Okay, so within this range, the radiation appears to have different colors. The red light has maximum wavelength, that is close to 700 nanometer, while violet light has the smallest wavelength, which is close to 400 nanometer. Okay, so the white light that is here is actually dispersed, or it splits into different colors because of the different wavelength. Now we all know that 1 nanometer is equal to 10 raised to minus 9 meter. Okay. Now, what is dispersion? Dispersion is due to the different speed of light for different color. The refractive index is different for different colors. So, refraction occurs and different colors are divided or deviated through different angle. In vacuum, the velocity of light rays of all frequencies is the same. But the velocity of light in a medium depends on the frequency of the light, and thus different colors travel with different velocity. So refractive index is different for different color. So even when the white light enters a single medium like glass, the angles of refraction are different for different color. Okay, so just now we studied that one white light, due to wavelength, it is divided into different colors. Okay, and the angle of refraction are different for different colors. So when the white light coming from sun through the air enters any refracting medium, it emerges as a spectrum of 7 colors. Okay, so the splitting of 7 colors or the spectrum of 7 colors. So what is a final definition, the process of separation of light into its component color while passing through a medium is called dispersion of light. Okay, so as you can see in the diagram, this is a white light, this is the glass prism, and when the light comes out of it, we see that it is divided into different colors. Sir Isaac Newton was the first person to use a glass prism to obtain sun's spectrum. When white light is incident on the prism, different colors bend through different angle. Among the 7 colors, as we studied, red bends the least, while violet bends the most. The reason is the wavelength of red is maximum near to 700, whereas for violet it is less, that is near to 400. Thus, as shown in the figure, the 7 color emerges along different paths and gets separated, and we get a spectrum of 7 colors. As you can see, children, this is one white light, but see, the colors are different and they are following the different path, okay, because of the difference in their wavelength and how much they are deviated. Now, moving further to partial and total internal reflection. Light traveling from one medium to another is both reflected and refracted. This is called partial reflection and refraction. Now, so far we were studying about refraction. Okay, now together it is both. When the light ray is both reflected and refracted, it is called refraction. When light enters a rare medium from a denser medium, okay, so rare medium, that is thin medium, from a denser medium, that is thick medium, it gets partially reflected. That is, the part of the light gets reflected and comes back into the denser medium as per the law of reflection. This is called partial reflection. Okay, see here, you can see in the diagram, children, this is an incident ray coming from one medium to another. So some part is refracted, but some part is also reflected. Okay, so this we called as a partial reflection. The rest of the light gets refracted and goes again to the rare medium. Okay, so here also you can see that the reflected light, we can see that the light is reflected as it is coming. These are the two medium, air and glass. Okay, so here we see the partial internal reflection. Okay, so the reflection, or both the things are happening, refraction and reflection. So we called it as a partial internal reflection. Now, as the light is going from denser to rare medium, it bends away from the normal. This we all know. That is, the angle of incidence I is smaller than the angle of refraction R. This is shown on the left side of the figure. Okay, so as you can see here, children, see here, as the angle of incidence is increasing or changing, you can see that the angle of refraction is also changing. If we increase R, or if we increase I, R will also increase according to Snell's law, and the refractive index is constant. Okay, so here we can see that the incident ray and the refracted ray, it is bending towards, or as here it is bending towards the normal. Okay, and as I is changing, R is also changing. For a particular value of I, the value of R becomes equal to 90 degrees. Okay, 90 degrees. See here, that is the particular value of I. Now R is changing, and it became 90. Okay, so this is called as critical angle. The angle of refraction is larger than 90 degrees. Such rays return to the denser medium as shown towards the right in the figure. Now see here, as the I is increasing, R increases, it's become 90, and now it is refracting inside. Okay, so the light gets reflected back into the dense medium. So this is called as total internal reflection. Very clearly you can see from the diagram how the total internal reflection is taking place. Okay, so here see, here also we can see that air and water, angle of incidence, refraction, incidence, refraction at this point when R is equal to 90. Okay, so we don't see any angle of refraction, and as the eye increases, see here, it is happening within. So internal reflection is happening. There is no refraction. Okay, so we can find the value of critical angle as sin I upon sin R. So for total internal reflection, I is a critical angle and R is equal to 90 degrees. Okay, so I hope it is. Okay, so here we can determine the value of critical angle as follows. So the refractive index of first medium with respect to second medium is equal to sin I upon sin R. I is angle of incidence, R is the angle of refraction. For total internal reflection, I is equal to critical angle and R is equal to 90 degrees. Then this refractive index of medium 1 with respect to 2 is equal to sin I upon sin 90 degrees. That is equal to sin I because sin 90 degrees is equal to 1. Okay, so refractive index is equal to I sin I, that is I critical angle. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now moving further, we have towards the end the rainbow production. Rainbow is a beautiful natural phenomenon. It is a combined effect of a number of natural processes. It is a combined effect of dispersion, refraction and total internal reflection of light. Okay, so dispersion, that is splitting of white light into 7 colors. Refraction, that is bending or changing the direction of light, and total internal reflection, which we studied just now. It can be seen mainly after a rainfall. Small droplets of water acts as a small prism. When light rays from the sun enter these droplets, it gets refracted and dispersed. Then there is an internal reflection as shown in the figure. Okay, so as you can see here, children, sunlight falling on a drop of a water that acts as a prism. Okay, so one medium to next medium, we can see the refraction, then internal reflection we can see here, and then as the ray comes out, we see the dispersion. And after that, once again the light gets refracted while coming out of the droplet. So first refraction here while entering the droplet, and second refraction here while coming out of the droplets. All these three processes together produce the rainbow. Okay, so very important. Understand, it is as the light rays incident, refraction, then internal reflection, again refraction, and then dispersion that results into this beautiful phenomena. Okay, so that's it. We are done with the lesson. This is an important lesson, small. I hope you understood everything. Please read the lesson carefully. So this is your teacher Meenal Parera signing off for lesson number 6. Thank you very much. Bye and take care.